Thanks, Kelly.
Did this come on?
Bingo.
No. Really?
No.
We'll just talk into this one.
I'm Robert Robertson. This is my wife, Pam. We moved here from Lake Charles, from Casper, Wyoming in 1993. We're getting pretty old. We came to what was then 4th Avenue Church of God at the invite of Wendell and Darlene White. Big, long story. I'll skip that part.
We were here for 5 years, and it was really a great time of growth as Christians. I can't get this one on. We were here for 5 years, and it was a great time of growth for us as Christians and finding our place in ministry. And we truly found a church home and a church family. Thank you, sister.
But as young, well, we wasn't that young. We had house payments, car payments, 2 kiddos in college, and was really struggling. But, you know, being in church every Sunday and trying to get into ministry, we really felt like we need to be tithing fully. So prayed about it and finally went and sat down with Pastor Rick and explained our situation to him. He said, well, just have a little faith. Have a little faith. And if things don't work out, I'll give you your money back. So since then, we have been blessed beyond imagination. As a little farm kid, and
I grew up in town.
Kid, but anyway, we've been blessed.
While we were here, I worked as Pastor Rick's assistant for about 4 years. And again, this was our church home. We were very active.
But sometimes God answers prayers in kind of an unexpected way. I got transferred shortly after we'd been, like 1998, I think it was, to a management group in headquarters with Conoco in Houston.
I felt like leaving our church family was as close to a divorce as I ever wanted to experience. It was tough. And his job was great, but we struggled to find a new church home in Katy. God ultimately led us to a really small little Bible church, and we had only been going there a few weeks. And they expressed the need for a church administrator. And I accepted that position, not knowing that within the year we would not have a pastor, and I would go for months that I was the only person in the building except on Sunday. But God had prepared me through our church experience here and working with Pastor Rick. And at that point, it was Christ Community Church. It was no longer 4th Avenue Church of God.
Between 98 and 2013, my job took us literally around the world. But we were able to serve and grow tremendously as Christians in a number of places and churches, even in Korea. This included a church plant that grew to over 1,200 people in a real short period of time. I retired from Conoco, and at the encouragement and crying sessions with our daughter here in Lake Charles, we moved back here.
And we were happy to be back and get plugged in, and life is good. And we didn't know how important this church family would be till our son-in-law Chuck was diagnosed with cancer.
And we really needed our church family at that time.
We lost him in 2019. No one expects their daughter to be a widow at age 42. And thank God he brought us here, and we were here for her and for those little girls.
Yeah. As retired old people, Pam and I have been happy to serve in this church wherever needed. This is our church home. You are our church family. And we pray to God to use us in whatever ministry capacity he deems necessary. So this year, Pam and I will celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary next month. And a highlight of those years was the renewal of our vows, our 25th wedding anniversary, by Pastor Rick. So you're You're getting pretty old too. And I do have one small piece of advice. You know, when you get to this age and you say 50 years of being wed, you know, how did you do that? Yeah, you know, it's the 60-40 rule. So she's right 60% of the time in any conversation, and probably 40% right. You know, the other 40 is also she's right. So just saying. So,
All right. Thank you.
thank you.
Oh my